Hello everyone, this is Sara Khaki with Atlanta Divorce Law Group. I am joining you pretty late tonight as I've been waiting for my kids to go to bed so I can make you this video. I wanted to reach out to you guys as the owner and founder of Atlanta Divorce Law Group and discuss what Atlanta Divorce Law Group, what our team is doing to address some of the legal concerns and just some of the personal concerns that are coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the word that comes to mind when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk tonight is the word resilience. This word is very personal to me. This word means a lot to me from where my family has gone through and where my family has been, and to get to this amazing country of the United States. And that the word resilience really means a lot to us. I was born in 1983 during a time of war between Iran and Iraq. And only 4 years after the revolution that occurred, with Islamic revolution that occurred in Iran. And my parents always described that Islamic revolution, that coup of the government, as you live in a country that felt very free. You lived in a country where you could wear miniskirts, you could express yourself, you could enjoy your youth, you could enjoy your education. You had for a lot of people, had a good economy that they were enjoying. And overnight went to bed, woke up the next morning, and now the women were told to cover their hair. People were told how many times a day they had to go to a mosque and pray. And overall, their personal life, their social life, and their financial lives had completely changed overnight. And I experienced the same as a child growing up. I was very young, but young enough, still old enough to remember running to bomb shelters when the war was happening between Iraq and Iran. And so I've really understood the idea of having to live with quick change and adapting to change. I also moved to the United States when I was a teenager and had to adjust to the United States culture pretty quickly, adjust to the American culture from the European one pretty quickly. And so I've always lived with change in my life. However, I have to say that I've never quite appreciated the overnight change my parents experienced in the time of the revolution in their youth as I experienced it last week, when all of us just felt the need to quarantine ourselves. Whether there was a government mandate to do so or not, we all felt the urgency that we had to do something. And our lives changed overnight. I would say for myself, our team at ADLG, my kids, and my family, that really was last week on Monday. And our firm, Atlanta Divorce Law Group, made the choice to go become fully virtual at that point. And a big part of that decision was because we felt that we wanted to be socially conscious with what was going on in our environment. We wanted to do our part in seeing so many lives affected due to the fact that people can no longer live life normally. Schools are shut down. We felt it was only the ethical and responsible thing for our business to also do our part to not spread any disease or any germs that are possibly around us. So I wanted to take tonight and discuss what our team is doing to be resilient in serving our clients during this time. Our clients are facing a lot. Our divorce clients, our family law clients, our clients that are already dealing with child custody issues, already dealing with modifications, already dealing with the stress of a divorce. They are going through a lot with this financial stress on top. It's a financial stress, it's a health stress, and it's also the stress of the education for our children. So some of the things I wanted to tell you that our team has done is, first of all, as I mentioned earlier, we've gone fully virtually, and thankfully our team has always been able to work virtually due to the fact that we've been paperless office from day one. As much as the court system allows us, we've always had our documents handled virtually. For clients who still need to come into the office to sign documents, we make appointments and are available on a daily basis to accommodate that. For clients who need to pick up documents, drop off documents, we're here for you to do that. We are conducting virtual consultations through video conferencing or teleconferencing. Now, For some of our clients, they don't have the luxury of being in a home where they have a safe space in the home to go have very private conversations. So if you find yourself in that situation and you need to have a consult with us, let us know, and we will provide a meeting space for you in our office where you can come and have the privacy of our conference room or one of our offices to have a video conferencing meeting with one of the members of our team, so you can comfortably and confidentially discuss whatever your needs are you need to discuss. I also want everybody out there to know that our phones are completely still virtual working. All of our staff have extensions. They have access to all their emails. They have access to all their extensions. So if you need help, you're in an urgent situation, please do reach out. Do not forfeit movement in your life. There's still a lot that we can do for you, and there's still a lot that we are doing for our clients. Just last week, we were able to settle a case, negotiate a case for a client who had a pretty complex divorce matter, and really complex just not only because of the assets that were involved, but also complex because of child custody issues that were involved. And thankfully, some of this social adjustment in the court systems have created more pressure for both parties to come together and decide on alternative dispute resolutions, decide on how they can negotiate this out without being so dependent and putting their entire family's future in the hands of the courts. So we have been able to have a lot of success doing things outside of the court system. We also had a mediation last week that our team members were able to attend virtually, and they were able to receive excellent results for one of our clients and pretty much got her everything she had asked for. And as far as the courts go, they have not shut down. If you're dealing with domestic violence, if you need a restraining order, you have an emergency situation, the courts have still made themselves available for that. A lot of other court hearings are being conducted through telephone, through virtual video conferencing, or they're being moved along in a more, depending on the judge's schedule. So there's still a lot that our office can do for you. And really, most cases, most child custody, child support, modification, divorce cases are not settled through the court system. Most of them are settled through mediation, alternative dispute resolutions, negotiations, and that really requires a skillful attorney that not only has the ability to legally advocate for you, but can really hear you out and understand what your personal needs are, what your priorities are, and can artfully, tactfully get you there while keeping as much other parts of your life together as much as possible. So do not give up on moving your life forward. We all need to be resilient during this time, as difficult as it is, and there's still a lot that we can do for you during this time. And we are seeing more need to create forward movement for our clients in this time than ever before. If there was ever any pressure on families as far as their children's education goes, their finances goes, jobs goes, and health goes, all that is more elevated than ever before. So it's even more important that we are able to settle these matters for our clients than ever before. So don't give up and continue to reach for forward movement. Some other things that we're doing currently is we've always provided group therapy for our clients through Kathleen Shack, who offers basically, she's a licensed therapist, and we bring her in and have her do group therapy complimentary for our clients. At this point, we are offering them virtually. So if you are going through a stressful time, you're emotionally distraught through everything going on, do not hesitate to reach out and get yourself booked to be in one of our group therapy sessions. They are typically a small, intimate group. They're confidential, and now you can do them out of the comfort of your own home. And they're complimentary. So take us up on that. And it's a service that I think is very, very valuable right now while we're all feeling very, very tested. We also are continuing to provide our educational seminars. They are now done virtually. Our litigation manager, Jeanette Soltis, conducts those, and they will be done through video conferencing. So you can learn about any topics, whether it is child custody modification, child support modification, divorce, division of assets, alimony, or adoptions. you can pick any of those topics, and we are offering virtual seminar for those. So feel free to educate yourself on your options through all of that. There is still a lot you can do to feel like you have some sense of control in your life, despite all of this change that's going on around us. I am also personally reaching out to every current client this week to check in with them, to check in on how you guys are doing, what we can do for you. And the answer to that does not just have to be something legal. We are an office full of parents. We are an office full of people who either gone through divorce or are children of divorce or have experienced how a loved one's gone through a divorce. And we can empathize with what you're going through, and we have a sea of resources that we've gathered up to help you out with. So we want to be a personal advocate for you on all realms of your life that are being impacted by this as much as possible. So do reach out. Don't feel disconnected. Don't be isolated. You can. We're here for you for everything, regardless of if it's within our practice area or not. We can always find somebody or a resource for you. I actually had a conversation today with a new client who, it was through a Zoom video conference, who was wondering what her options are as far as protecting herself and her child right now, her young daughter, who, they're in a toxic relationship. Their household has become very toxic due to their dysfunctional marriage. And now that they're all sharing this space together, and their daughter is out of school because the schools have shut down, and both of them are working from home, the situation's turned very toxic, and she feels like it's going to be very harmful to her child. And she wanted to know what her options are. Well, thankfully, there's still a lot of options that we can do for her. Once we're able to file for a petition for divorce, all of the protections of the court still apply. Have the timelines shifted? Yes, depending on the judge and depending on the court. But that does not mean that we can't still financially and physically protect her and her daughter through anything that could be harmful to them, and also protect her assets and protect her rights as a parent. And really, another concern that she had that I think is a very valid one, that I'm sure a lot of other people share, is my daughter's already going through so much change with her school being shut down and all this talk about the coronavirus, and there's already so much instability that this all has created in our lives. I don't want this divorce to cause any more instability in her life. And really, my answer to that is this, and it comes from my own personal experience as a child that had to experience a lot of change as I was growing up. Because I'm not a child psychologist, I've never written a book on parenting. I'm no expert by any means. I'm doing my best as any parent is. But I can say this from my own personal experience. It is not political turmoil. It is not political turmoil, economic turmoil that impacts a child harmfully. It is not even changing a home or divorcing parents, having to share time with two different parents that harms our children. What harms our children is not being able to be resilient to change. And all these things can create more resilient humans in our children. Because if there's anything we have learned in the past 2 weeks, is that as humans, we cannot be resilient enough. We all thought we had so much control over our lives. We all thought we had it all so well figured out. And now we're all shaken up by the great unknown that we're living in and trying to take care and protect our families in. Well, the truth of the matter is we were always living in the unknown. The difference is we've just now become very heightenedly aware of it. We were just never aware of it to this level of how unknown everything has always been to us. And now we're very well aware of it and we're shaken up by it. But if we can use, whether it is a change in our family structure or our political environment or our economic environment as an opportunity to create more resilience for our children, then what a wonderful opportunity, so that when they grow up and they become adults, hopefully if they ever have to face something as shocking as what we're facing the past 2 weeks, they're not as shaken up by it as all of us have been. And that was really one of the greatest things that I feel I received out of being a child who was born in a time of war in Iran, and then took refuge in Sweden, and then immigrated again as a teenager from Sweden to United States, is just that resilience. Now, what is harmful to our children is unhealthy adults who create emotionally toxic environments for the kids. That's what's harmful to a child, not changes that occur around them, because change is natural, change is part of growth. But when two adults who are responsible for the security, self-esteem, and love of a child make that child feel responsible for the ups and downs of the home, the toxic environment of the home, and the unhealthy emotional circumstances of a home, that is very harmful to a child. So I take comfort in that as a parent, because I know that that part I can control. That part I can make myself the best version of myself, the healthiest, emotionally healthiest version of myself, so that I can raise the best humans that I can possibly raise with my children. And this event around us right now, if there is any silver lining, I know from personal experience, is that it is that my children will become more resilient children. And I think that that is the shared experience we're all having, is we're all having a response to the unknown right now, and we're all learning some painful lessons, some valuable lessons from it. And our firm has always felt very, very connected to our clients. Like I mentioned earlier, each one of us are either children of divorce, parents, divorced ourselves, or in my circumstance, have had a loved one very close to us that has gone through divorce. And we've all seen how the impacts of the stigma of guilt and shame can impact somebody that's gone through divorce. And so we've always shared that feeling with our clients, and that's where our entire feeling of happily ever after divorce has come from with the mission of removing the stigma of divorce. But I don't think we've ever before as a team can say here at Atlanta Divorce Law Group that we have felt more connected with our clients, as we ourselves, as parents, as children of older adults, as husbands and wives, have worried more about our loved ones, and had that state of worry about the health, finances, jobs, and just really feeling so isolated, yet also so connected. Probably physically isolated, but emotionally so connected to the world just through this shared experience. And that has given us a huge opportunity to have a deeper level of understanding for our clients day to day. And we have sensed this great calling to be here for our clients and make sure that we make sure that they come out of this experience more resilient than ever, and that their cases and their personal lives come out of this with forward movement. So thank you for joining me tonight. I wanted again to reiterate the message that whether you're a client of Atlanta Divorce Law Group or you're not, if there's anything that we can be of service to, whether you're a referral source, you're a member of our community, you're a client, a former client, current client, we feel a great calling to be of service to our clients and to our community. If there's anything that we can do, please let us know. And I leave everybody with the prayer for a healthy future, and for all of us to gain resilience out of this shared experience we're having. Thank you for watching. Good night.